You start a Python script on your virtual private server, expecting it to place demo trades. 2 seconds later, your phone buzzes with an execution notification from your live funded account. In this video, you will learn how to build an unbypassable pre-flight safety check in Python that halts script execution instantly if your bot connects to the wrong account. I have spent 6 years building and running automated trading systems across stocks, foreign exchange, and cryptocurrency. I build my execution infrastructure in Python using MetaTrader 5. I do not sell indicators, mentorships, or dreams of easy wealth. This video is for developers and traders who are building real automated systems and want to eliminate silent infrastructure failures before they cost real money. When you launch a Python script that uses the official MetaTrader 5 package, the library attempts to establish an inter-process communication bridge with a running instance of the terminal. By default, many developers simply call the initialize function without passing explicit arguments. When you call initialize without parameters, the MetaTrader Python library attaches to whichever terminal process is currently open on your machine. If you run multiple terminal instances on a single virtual private server, this behavior introduces immediate structural risk. If your live account terminal was the last window focused or opened, your experimental strategy script will attach to that live terminal without warning. The Python script does not know the difference between a demo environment and a real capital environment unless you explicitly force it to verify those parameters before sending an order request. If your order sizing logic assumes a $10,000 demo balance with 50-to-1 leverage, but attaches to a $500 live account with 20-to-1 leverage, the trade request will either fail on margin or execute with catastrophic position sizing. Relying on manual terminal management on a remote server is not a risk control strategy. Human error will eventually manifest, especially during server reboots, software updates, or scheduled restarts. Most introductory tutorials teach you how to connect to MetaTrader 5, fetch bar data, and send an order request within 20 lines of code. They completely skip system initialization safety. A production-ready trading algorithm must treat initial connection establishing as untrusted. The bot must prove it is in the correct environment before it is granted authority to execute orders. The failure mode here is particularly dangerous because MetaTrader 5 will not throw an explicit Python exception when it attaches to the wrong account. As long as the terminal process is responsive, the initialize function returns true. From the perspective of the Python interpreter, the bridge connection is perfectly healthy. The function call succeeded. The pipeline is open. Your risk management modules will then pull account metrics from the attached terminal. If your code calculates position sizes dynamically, it will operate on the equity figures of whatever account happens to be active. If the target account balance is significantly larger than the intended test environment, a fixed percentage risk model will calculate lot sizes scaled to that higher balance. If that calculation executes against a live account with smaller capital, margin call levels can be breached instantly. On a headless virtual private server running multiple background instances, visual verification is impossible. You cannot manually check terminal tabs when scripts run via automated task schedulers or system services. The only solution is defensive programming at the entry point of your script. We must write an explicit pre-flight inspection wrapper that validates the terminal context before any market data processing begins. This pre-flight routine must accept explicit target parameters. You define expected values for target account login, target server name, and expected account mode. These expected values should be declared as strict constants or loaded from a secure environment file that is unique to that specific bot instance. Let us step through the construction of this validation mechanism line by line to understand how each check isolates structural risk. First, when calling initialize, do not call it empty. Always pass the exact file system path to the intended terminal executable, along with the login integer, password string, and server string. Passing login credentials to initialize instructs the library to attempt logging in, but you must still explicitly verify that the login attempt succeeded and attach to the correct internal state. Immediately following initialization, query account info using the account info function. If account info returns none, the terminal failed to return state parameters, and the script must shut down immediately. Next, perform an exact equality comparison between your target login integer and account info.login. Follow this with an exact string comparison between your target server name and account info.server. Do not stop at account numbers. Check the trade allowed property to verify that automated trading is enabled in the terminal settings for that account. Finally, check the trade mode property. MetaTrader 5 explicitly identifies whether an account is demo, contest, or real. Compare this return value against your target environment setting. If any single one of these conditional checks fails, the pre-flight routine must print a detailed error log, call the terminal shutdown function, and invoke system exit with a non-zero status code. Under no circumstances should the script attempt to fallback or guess a secondary account. A failed pre-flight check must result in an immediate, hard process termination. The core engineering takeaway is simple. In automated trading execution, ambiguity is capital loss waiting to happen. Here is the noble insight. Your risk management does not begin at your stop-loss order. It begins at your system initialization block. If your architecture allows a script to run without verifying its operational environment, your strategy risk controls are incomplete. The radical truth here is that defensive programming adds slight complexity and friction to your code. Adding explicit path dependencies and environment checks means your scripts are less portable out of the box and require explicit setup per environment. But security and convenience are inversely proportional. A script that is quick to deploy without safety checks is also a script that can silently wipe an account in 3 seconds. I will take 3 extra lines of configuration logic and an explicit failure routine over a sleek, fragile script every single day. Let us review the 3 core takeaways from this build log. First, never rely on default terminal attachment. Always pass explicit file paths and target account credentials to the initialize function. Second, immediately inspect account info.login, account info.server, and account info.trade mode against explicit target constants before executing strategy logic. Third, enforce a hard process exit using system exit if any pre-flight condition fails. Never allow silent fallbacks. If you want practical, unglamorous engineering breakdown videos on building algorithms that survive real execution environments, subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we will dissect netting versus hedge account structures on MetaTrader 5, and examine the exact infrastructure setting that silently breaks simultaneous multidirectional position bots. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice or trade recommendations. This video utilizes an artificial intelligence-generated voice.